Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tom's Corner, where you can hear the truth, the whole truth. So help me God. Topic lesson today. Did the women at the tomb almost lose their mind? Are you ready for this? All right, we're going into Mark, and we're also going to be going into Luke, and we're also going to go into John. Are you ready for this? This might bring you a better insight of what happened at the tomb when the women went to the tomb early in the morning, right before, actually, they walked there in the dark. All right, Mark chapter 16, verse 2. And very early in the morning, the first days of the week, they came unto the sepulchre at the rising of the sun. Okay, now in 3. And they said among themselves, who shall roll us away the stone from the door of the sepulchre? Now remember, Mark seems to always give more in detail than others. And he zeroes in and faces the event. He does not mention the guards that were supposedly guarding the entranceway, and one way or the other, because in the biblical passages zero in on the event, not the individuals outside the event. Okay, now because this event is not about them, it's about the women that went there. They took incense, and they took linen, and they took other things, and they were going to wrap Jesus up, complete the burial aspect of it. Number 4, and when they looked, they saw the stone was rolled away, for it was very great, pretty good sized stone. Now, number 5, and entering into the sepulchre, they saw a young man sitting on the right side, clothed in a long white garment. Now, this is the only time in the Bible it ever mentions a young angel. I want you to take note of that. Now, I have not figured this out yet, why there actually was a young angel sitting there. And that's never been depicted. But if we dig deep enough, we may find out, okay, later on. And I believe also Luke did not mention him, okay? Luke didn't mention him. Now, in Luke 24, verse 3, and they entered in and found not the body of the Lord Jesus. The woman did not mention the young angel at this time. Okay, let's go on a little bit. Stay with me. I'm giving you what they call the gestalt, the whole picture here. And you've got to read those books to find out and put it together. Now, note in verse 4, it states, and it came to pass. Note the word pass means later on, after they left the tomb. The women left the tomb. As they were much perplexed thereabout, behold, 2 men stood by them in shining garments. Anytime that you read in the Bible reference to 2 men in shining garments, you're talking about angels. Now, these were 2 more angels. Now, listen very carefully. These were 2 more angels they saw. Now, 5, it says, in 5 it states, and as they were afraid, and bowed down their faces to the earth. Now listen to this part. Remember, inside the tomb, it was all stone. Outside, it is dirt. Now, to the earth means dirt. Okay, they were outside, making their way back to the other disciples. And they encountered 2 more angels. The total of this story comes from both writers, Mark and Luke, and even from John. Now, you would be perplexed too if you saw the tomb empty and a young angel inside. Then, some time after leaving the tomb, saw two men, which were angels. And I believe this would cause anyone to question what? Their sanity. Okay? There you have it on that part. Now, let's go on. And let's see if we can complete it right here. In John chapter 20, he gives a little more detail of the women that had gone to the tomb and found the stone rolled away. Verse 2, when Mary Magdalene ran and told Peter, "We know not where they laid him," she was referring to the rest of the women when she said, "We know not where they laid him." Now, when Peter and John had left the tomb, because what they did, they ran with Mary Magdalene back to the tomb. Well, to the tomb, she did. She ran back to the tomb, okay? And brought those two with them, but as you know, they outran her. And so they had come to the entrance of the tomb, and when Peter and John had left the tomb, Mary Magdalene stayed and cried. While she was crying, she stooped down and she looked again into the tomb. She saw two angels sitting, one at the head and the other at the feet. These two probably were the two that the women saw earlier. Remember the two earlier as they were leaving the tomb that morning. Now, in Mark's writing and John's writing, we must keep in mind the time frame of each event. Remember, read John's account and Luke's account and also Mark's account, and this will give you the full of the story. God bless. I will see you the next trip.